Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to 80 Knox Harbor Arena for today's coverage of the Greater Metro Hockey League. It's a game-deciding Game 3 of the first round of the Greater Metro Hockey League postseason between the Windsor Aces and the Niagara Whalers on Windsor Productions. I'm Justin Prince. Welcome to today's series. Your starting goaltenders. Austin Darrell makes the start today for the Whalers. He comes into the postseason with 9 games played and a 5-3 record. Goals allowed average of 5.02 and a save percentage of .882 with no shutouts. He'll be facing the South Division's top goaltender this season, as named yesterday, Zachary Uplager. He had the second most wins in the regular season and was a dominant force for the Aces. Played a majority of the games as well in the net. Today's officials, Ken Wilson, Dave Fiddick, Tim Brooks, as we're underway from 80 Knox Harbor Arena for a Tuesday afternoon tilt. The Whalers with the puck to start things off today on their opening lineup. Bryce Martin, Kurt Villani, along with Bailey Fletcher, Jesse Masterson. Round to 5 is Tanner Ferreira. With the puck right now is Villani. Picked up once again by the Aces, now moved back once again to the Niagara Whalers zone. Martin, two-line pass, bounces off the stick of Fletcher, all the way back to the Aces zone. On the line for the Aces, Jake Pickersgill, Cameron Pickersgill, Bryce Yetman, Mick Mules, Nickwick, Luke Mahan. Cameron Pickersgill tries to deke his way to the left. Moved off the puck once again, this time by Ferreira. Here comes Martin. Martin moves his way up the left wing, tries to pass on back in traffic, move back to the neutral zone once more instead. Nick Sacco now on the ice for the Whalers, picks it up. Just about a minute into the first period here on Windsor Productions, I'm Justin Prince. The Windsor Aces taking on the Niagara Whalers in Game 3 of the first round of the Greater Metro Hockey League playoffs. Moved along the boards by Lane Goulin, Shane Gagnon with it. Passed up to Zach Gilbo, misses. Waved off icing as it went underneath a couple sticks. Aces able to go for the line change as Niagara takes it up. On the left side, taken by Brandon Trippy. Brandon Trippy has it deflected away to the right, to the near side. Goulin gets caught up with the Whaler, passed on back. Subordin unable to keep it, picked up towards the point. Tossed towards Uplakers, it's kicked away on the shot by Dallas McKee. Dallas McKee waits on the left side point, picked up by Goulin. Moved back to Sean Gagnon. Gagnon watches as a fellow teammate ducks. Ivan Subordin makes the charge for the puck. Coy Preville tries to pass it, gets it off to Zach Gilbo instead. Gilbo moves towards the right side. Just about 2 minutes into the first period, tries to set up the play towards the point. But at the wrist shot, Nickwick deflected above the head. Coy Preville gets it back down low. Subordin knocked it low down again. Gilbo from the slot scores! Zach Gilbo gives the Windsor Lancers a 1-0 lead to start things off. Just past 2 minutes into the first. And a good start for the Windsor Aces here today, as Zach Gilbo in the regular season was one of the top scorers for the Windsor Aces. 15 goals, 19 assists in 20 games played. Now is on the board in Game 3 of round number 1 to give the Aces the first goal of the game. The Aces and the Whalers tied up at 1 game apiece so far in their series. After the Aces won Game 1, the Whalers won Game 2. Pucks deflected up into the mesh as we'll have a face-off with 17:45 to go in the first. In that first game, the Windsor Aces won 7-3 in a game that finished in a wild way, which ended up with an incident off the ice, which led to 3 players being suspended crossing over to today's game. Both coaches as well having 2-game suspensions from the Game 1 situation, as right now the Aces have the puck in their own zone after the check. Passed on back, that time by Austin Friesen. Moved on forward by Eric Kristoshnik. Moved up by Fuma Kasai. Kasai circles back. Kasai across the ice to Gagnon. Kasai gets checked down. Delayed penalty coming up, but the shot misses wide right. Kasai from along the goal line, moved back. Nicklick able to get it along the boards. Aces still on the attack. Misses once more to Bryce Yetman. Yetman down low, Friesen. Back to Kasai. Kasai deflected off the Whaler sticks back to Nicklick. Nicklick back across to Mahan. Mahan has it blocked. Still extra attacker on the ice. Whalers still cannot touch it yet. Zachary Hardig tries to pass it. Friesen has it deflected away as they finally call the penalty. That'll be the first penalty of the game. It will go against the Whalers, as that will go against Francesco Gigliani. They will say tripping as the official call, as signaled by referees Ken Wilson, Dave Fiddick, Tim Brooks today. First penalty of the day. In game one, remember, there was a struggle for both teams on special teams. The power play percentage for the Aces in the regular season, 13.5%. For the Whalers, their power play percentage, 81.7%. They try and go on the attack, 16:42 to go in the first. Passed out towards the point, Nicollet couldn't get it. Cleared away, chance up the ice now for Ferrera. Has a chance towards Uplager, deflected away. Hit off the blocker of Uplager. Shot again down low, deflected by a couple sticks. Here comes Bryce Shipman. Bryce Shipman leading a 4-on-2. Deep to the right, misses wide right. Nicollet has the puck roll back towards the neutral zone. Moved back into the Whalers zone, cleared back out to the Aces zone as Uplager gets it. Just about 4 minutes into the first period here on Wheat Digital Productions. Taken up by Coy Prevost. Has Cameron Pickersgill, Bryce Shipman as the forwards. Mules Nicollet along with the defenseman. It's stolen away by Martin, cleared away. Goes right by Tim Brooks. Move back to Uplager once more as Nicollet tries to reset it. Passed off the back of the stake of Valani. Chance setting up for Sacco. Sacco picks it up in the corner. Moves towards the slot. Circles the pass on back. Looking for men as they retreat back. Bryce Martin has it back. The Aces go for the line change. 42 seconds left on the power play. Martin clears the puck as the Whalers change up the penalty kill unit. Mahan picks it up along the near side boards. Passes by the fans. Deeks his way towards center ice. Is stripped away once more. Here comes the chance for Brendan Truppy. Pass from the left wing off the back of the skates of Mahan. Mahan gets it away. Niagara tries to pass it away, but picked up by Cameron instead. Cameron Pickersgill charges. Back to Yetman. Ivan Savodin moves to the near side corner as Mahan goes along the boards. Pass across to Cameron, misses the mark. Cleared away once more by Martin. Third time he's cleared it in this power play opportunity. The Aces will start off game 3 0-for-1 as the clock reaches 0. Gigliani comes out of the box and we'll have a face-off after the puck hits its way out of play. 14:50 to go into the first period here between the Windsor Aces and Niagara Whalers. In game number 2, that was just this past Sunday, it was an 8-4 victory for the Niagara Whalers after scoring 4 unanswered points in the final period, after being tied at 2 apiece in the second. Face-off won by the Aces. Sabonin gets the puck. Sabonin tries to get it by Guest, knocks over Guest as the Whalers pick it up Martin. The captain, Bryce Martin, moves his way across center ice. Yetman tries to come out off the bench for the check. Move back to the near side corner. Picked up once more, bounced on the boards to Guest. Guest, pass deflected away. Here comes Bryce Shipman. Yetman coming up with Sabonin. Zach Gimble as well as he misses the net. Rolled it back to the point. Harden gets it checked away. Whalers clear it away as Uplager calls for the quick icing. We'll go back the other direction once more. But as talked about a few moments ago at the top of the broadcast, rather, the official awards have been given out for the 2018-19 season for the Greater Metro Hockey League for the South Division as well as the North Division. Of course, the team of the year in first place was the South George Ravens as the 1 seed. However, the best goaltender this season, Zachary Uplager, as well as your MVP being Bryce Shipman after breaking the record for goals and in points on the season. Harnig gets tied up meanwhile. Golan tries to pass down low. Move back to Sean Gagnon towards the point. Has to retreat back to Windsor does. Whalers change up the lines as Kasai moves it across center ice once more. Cameron Pickersgill and Zachary Harnig with them. Block shot from Harnig. Picked up Kasai. Once again, rich shot. Gagnon has it deflected. Gagnon tied up in a circle. Poke check battle between multiple forwards as Gigliani gets it. Gigliani passes it off the boards. Golan takes it. Golan pass back up to Harding. Pass goes back to Kasai. Kasai. Seltzer passes across the ice. Chased down instead by Jesse Masterson. Jesse Masterson avoids 2 poke checks. Move back up to Valani. Taken up now in the left wing, Fletcher. Fletcher pass back. Valani across the slot. Stolen away by Windsor again. Yetman behind the back pass. Stolen away by Valani again. He moves it back. Valani a scratch in game 1, been very active in game 3 here at Knox Tournament Arena so far. Just 7 minutes into the first as Prevost moves it back to the neutral zone. Picked up by Masterson. Masterson looks towards the left side of the ice. Coming up for help, McKee. Taken now on the right wing, Fletcher. Fletcher. Slap shot misses the net. Rolls its way to the near side of the boards once more. Picked up now, Prevost. Prevost yet with Yetman. Yetman, deeks right. Across the ice, misses Prevost on the pass. Finds his way back to the Whalers. Move back to Jake Pickers, go after the poke. Move back towards Yetman. Towards the corner. Deflected away off the stakes once more of Duro. Whalers still stuck in their own zone. That time Yetman called offsides, pardon me, Nikolic. Either way, face off in the neutral zone with 12:13 to go in the first. Are you enjoying what you're seeing here on Weed Digital Productions? Be sure to check out more Aces action on weeddigital.ca. Also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and more to keep up with the action. Face-off won by the Whalers. They've won a majority of the face-offs in this series. As well on the boards, Nick Sacco. Passed on back, Martin. Swung back to the other side. Once again moved up, just underneath the stick that time of Trippy. Trippy tries to make the charge back. Aces move it back to the Whalers' own zone once more. But then again, Bastien. Martin has it poked. Picked up again, Trippy. The alternate captain makes it the charge from the right side. Sacco tosses it for the reset. Move back down low towards Blake Hembroff. Across goes Trippy. Back to Martin. Martin, rich shot deflected wide left. Friesen tries to track it. Goes by Sabonin on the pass back. Zach Gilbo amongst the players inside the neutral zone. Aces with it. First Jochnuk. Moves along the right side. Puts up the right shot. Kicked away. Darrell with another save. Just the one shot allowed so far. 1-0 is your score for the Windsor Aces over the Niagara Whalers. With 11:10 to go in the first period. Aces in their own zone with the pressure. Able to move back to the neutral zone. Sabonin. Pass back to Gilbo. Goes off towards Sabonin. Sabonin loses the puck after 3 poke checks. Aces get it once again though, Gilbo. Gilbo along the blue line. Cross to Gagnon. Gagnon to Gilbo. Gilbo deeks his way through multiple players. Puts up a shot. Knocks the net off its moorings for the draw. 10:46 to go in the first period. And Gilbo is scratching the first 2 games of this series. Making a return to the lineup for game number 3. And so far has been the only goal scorer today. Able to get the goal on the right side of the ice. Down low in the slot to make it 1-0 Windsor Aces just about 5 minutes ago. Face-off won by Niagara. They come up with it. They take it up towards the slot, poked away on the rush. That time for Mason Shumate. Picked up down the far side. Multiple players still tied up. Goin gets to the near side corner. Shumate tries to poke it away. Goin loses his footing. Shumate still trying to poke it away as it moves back to the far side. Alongside the boards, one player loses both his gloves and stick. And that is James Guest rushing right to the bench. James Guest immediately going to the locker room and is not happy. Fellow assistant coaches following James Guest to the locker room. As we'll see what happens here. Took off both his gloves and stick before heading off to the locker room. As he goes back in and out, no penalty on the play. And we keep going. Still 5-on-5, Guest to the locker room. Harnig with the puck. Passed on up to Kasai. Kasai checked from behind. Gigliani gets the pass after the check, trying to get one from behind as Friesen falls on over. Niagara takes it up, still no call. Blocked on the shot are the Whalers with it once more. Masterson. Masterson across Martin. Martin gets checked by Friesen. Martin still tied up as Yetman falls on top of Captain via Captain. And we'll have at least the draw coming up here after the 2 players collide. 9:50 to go, just past the halfway mark of this first period. What has been a very thrilling series for these 2 squads. To the face-off dot is Bryce Yetman, the captain for the Windsor Aces, drawing against Bailey Fletcher. Fletcher wins the draw. Aces steal it away as Cameron's knocked off the puck. Cameron Pickers go running into Martin. Taken back by Masterson. Move back along Ferreira. Ferreira cross ice. Taken now along the wing, Villani. Villani has it poked, moved on back instead. Masterson back up towards, once again, Villani. Villani on the right wing, second chance down low. Uplanger tries to get the cover up. Masterson gets the puck and he's blocked by Yetman. Set up once again to the far side once more. Nicola tries to chase it. Picked up alongside Masterson, rolled along, puck deflects around. Yetman tries to track it again. Move back again near side. Action continues. They continue to move back and forth. With it, Villani across. Rich shot caught for the face-off. Now to clarify confusion with the action, just as that was all going on, they moved apparently someone on the Aces side of the penalty box with 1:05 left on their a penalty kill for their side. So that is involving some confusion here after Guest was sent off the ice just about in that same time. It appears to be connected to said situation. We'll have more clarification as soon as possible as Martin takes it up. Martin across center ice. Moved for the shot. Second chance blocked. Aces forming a wall down low. There's Joe Schnook trying to poke it from Martin to Gilbo. Passed along with it, Fletcher. Fletcher has it stripped away. Short-handed chance. Jake Gilbo. Jake Pickersgill loses his footing trip from behind. Collides with Austin Darrow for the face-off. And Darrow is down. And looks like the training staff being sent out for Niagara as Darrow, the today starter, is down. In the last game, he made the start, making 33 of 37 stops in the victory for the Whalers as he is down on the ice. We'll take a quick step aside. When we come back, we'll return with more action in this first period. 8:20 to go in the first period, 30 seconds left on a power play situation, and a second Whaler sent off to their locker room. You're watching We Digital Productions. Austin Darrow now being brought off the ice here on We Digital Productions. As we welcome you back, I'm Justin Prince. Austin Darrow now being brought to his bench after being checked by the training staff. Will Harvey will move into the crease now after the injury. Harvey making the start in game number 1 of this series and was essentially lit up in that matchup on the score sheet, allowing the 7 goals in the loss in game number 1. Returning between the pipes since then. Now the question is, can he keep it a 1-0 game? His team still is on the man advantage after James Guest went off. A second player as that was going on, Jesse Masterson, went off to the locker room as well. So a lot of confusion here to start things off here at 80 Knox Terminal Arena. 23 seconds left on the power play. We're back underway. Martin takes it. Taken on the wing. Move back towards the point, back to Martin. Back towards Ferreira. Ferreira deeks. Cross the crease. Uplanger nearly had it going off a deflection. Misses the net instead. Ferreira picks it up. Back across. The shot deflected away. Gilbo with it instead. Gilbo has Jake Pickersgill across his wings. Clears it off softly instead as we're back to 5-on-5 action. Darrow being checked out inside the Niagara Whalers penalty box as Yetman moves it by said penalty box. Aces try and get it to Yetman. Yetman has it deflected away. Coy Prevo can't get the pass. Sacco with it. Sacco wrist shot stop. Uplanger draws the face-off with 7:27 to go in the first. As talked about at the top of the broadcast, both head coaches were suspended for 2 games after the situation with Game 1. That means today's coach is Brian Payne, the head coach today for the Aces. served as the assistant coach during Game 1, while Matt Shoemate is the head coach today for the Whalers. As the Whalers try and put up a shot deflected away. Mullins' pass misses off the mark. McKee. Back again, Masterson. Taken up forward, Trippy. Trippy moves up the wing. Rich shot. Caught. Able to make the chest save for the faceoff. That burns about 20 seconds extra off the clock. The winner of this game, mind you, takes on the Kingsville Kings in round number 2 of the GMHL postseason. That will be an intriguing matchup if the Aces can get there. Again, that series could start as potentially as early as Thursday. McKee keeps it inside the zone out to the Whalers. One draw. Aces with the puck to Gagnon. Now Sabonin. Sabonin moves towards the slot. Avoids the chokes. Move back Gagnon. Gagnon, right shot blocked. Right off of Trippy's ankle. Whalers take it up now. Deacon around Hembroff. Hembroff has it poked. Hembroff loses his footing. Ends up taking a hard hit into the corners. The Aces try and give a hard hit on back. Shoemate moves it back to Gigliani. Gigliani's pass deflected away. Taking up Gagnon. Gagnon to Yetman. Yetman has Cameron Pickers go behind. Tries to get it to Cameron. Swung back to Sabonin instead. Sabonin and Cameron surround. Pass towards the slot. Kept just on sides by Nikolic. Move down low, Sabonin. Sabonin, rich shot. Second chance. Blocked. Yetman couldn't get the stick on it. Whalers move it back to the corner. Aces try pass it back to the point. Missed the mark. Uplegger forced retreat out of his own crease with 5:55 to go in the first. With it, Nikolic. Lets the play reset. Sabonin amongst the players being changed on line changes now for Windsor. Gagnon tries to pass it to Yetman. Perstoshchuk rather gets poked on back to Nikolic. Perstoshchuk. Passed off to Yetman. Yetman passes it along the boards to Cameron. Cameron has it stolen away. Taylor Bent's first with a quiet match so far. Had it poked on back as Harvey sits on top of the puck for the face-off. 5:24 to go in the first period here on Wheat Digital Productions. Windsor Aces still lead 1-0 over the Niagara Whalers. The shots have been continuing to pile up at both sides of the ice, but so far just the one goal allowed from Zach Gilbo today. Face-off inside the zone for the Whalers as Kasai loses the draw, this time to Bailey Fletcher. Moved along to Mahan, stolen away. Softly tapped Bastien. Now up the wing. Kicked away off the blocker by Uplegger. Fletcher with the shot. Move back to Kasai. He's on the rush. Kasai gets thrown along like a ballerina as he gets called. And that's going to be a penalty. Bastien called. Appears to be hooking. Bailey Fletcher rather is the player being sent off to the penalty box. 2-minute minor for the Whalers, the second time today. As he'll take a seat for the next 2 minutes. 5:03 to go in the first. Aces on their second power night. They'll move Coy Prevo to the center spot to win the draw. The Pickersgill brothers, Yetman, Nikolic, the 5 on the power play unit for Windsor. Jake Pickersgill has it passed down low. Goes back again to Prevo, still along the corner. Move back down to Nikolic. Wrist shot! Trying to get a deflection down low. Jake couldn't get it. Still battling behind the crease. Pressed against the far side corner boards. Cameron Pickersgill comes to help. Jake tries to pass it instead. Misses Coy. Move back to Ferreira. Tries to clear it. Kept just on sides. Hits the ceiling instead. Multiple Whalers want the whistle, and they get it, of course. And they'll get the face-off as we head the other direction. With 1:27 to go in the power play. 4:30 to go in the first. There's one of 4 matchups scheduled for February the 26th for postseason action. 3 rather, with New Tecumseh taking on Alma-Golan along with Tillsonburg North York in the respective series. Coy Prevo charges up the ice. Back over to Yetman. Pass towards the top of the slot. Nikolic has it deflected around. Move back to Cameron Pickersgill. Cameron crossed the ice, stolen away by 2 Whalers, cleared away by Sacco. Went right underneath the stick of Nikolic as it goes back to Uplegger. Minute to work with on the power play. Taken on the near side, Hembroff. Hembroff pressed against the boards. Whalers trying to set an opportunity, poked away by Jake Pickersgill instead. Able to get back to Cameron. Cameron wings on the right side. Tries to circle back to the left side. Looking for a man to pass to. Finds Nikolic. Goes for the slap shot. Stopped by Harvey. Harvey draws yet another face-off. That burns an extra 24 seconds on the said power play. 36 seconds left on the power play, 3:39 to go in the first period. To the face-off dot, it's again Shoemate, Mason Shoemate to be exact, to take on the man who's been on the score sheet, the only man to have a goal overall today, Zach Gilbo. Shoemate gets the face-off loss. Nikolic fakes the slap shot as Yetman misses the mark. At an open crease as the Niagara Whalers pick it back up. Shoemate. Stolen away by Nikolic. Pass back to Mahan. 20 seconds to reset. Mahan moves it right on by Harvey. Martin clears it back out. Uplegger tracks it. 8 seconds left on the power play. 3:10 in the first. As Yetman takes it on the wing, moves it still up the wing. Back to 5-on-5 as Yetman can't get the shot off. Still keeps the puck as Gigliotti knocks him off it. And Brock able to find a man. Here comes Fletcher. Chance on the break. Misses, couldn't get a shot. Got poked from behind as Fletcher's in the near corner. Battles with two aces. Coming up with a Subodin. Subodin has Gilbo up in front. Retreats back instead to Gagnon. Gagnon, cross ice pass to Yetman. Skates right between him. Caught for the offsides. As we'll have a face-off in the neutral zone. Of course, Bryce Yetman, a major record holder in the GMHL this season, has talked about a few times so far. Broke the league record in goals and points in a season. In the final game of the regular season for the points totals, the second to last game for the total goals record for the overall history of the league. 81 goals. 153 points. Whalers win the draw. Whalers clear it out to the Aces zone. Aces again have Gagnon. Back to Hardig. Hardig knocked on down by a diving McKee on the pass. Hardig tosses into the zone. Offsides waved off. Picked up now, once again, Bastien. McKee. Passed along the boards, moved across center ice. With it, Fletcher. Offsides called, stride and a half ahead that time for Tanner Ferrero. Clock moves to 2 minutes and 1 second remaining. While the Whalers didn't get on the award sheet for 2018-19, they had a few honorable mentions. Rookie of the Year, Brendan Bastien was amongst the players that got at least first or second runner-up for the Niagara Whalers. He'll watch along as the face-off is won by his team. Aces get it in their own zone with the goal and corner. Hardig tries to swing it back to the neutral zone, able to get back to center ice. Kasai wants to try and charge for it. Charged at McKee, couldn't get to the puck in time. Moved back to Windsor zone once more with 1:40 on the first period clock. Back and forth, the puck moves from far side to near side. Ferreira moved back to the far side, Windsor with it. Up the ice this time, Austin Friesen able to find Hardig off the top pads. One player has a stick broken, one more player is checked on down. Kasai one checked down as Ferreira passes it up. Coming off the ice to get a brand new stick is Bastien. With the Kasai once more. Friesen has it deflected and Connie Harvey gets the save. We'll have another face-off with 1:10 to go in the first. And Friesen been a scratch for some games, including parts of this series. But after game one had been activated for the Windsor Aces lineup, he'll come off the ice playing in game number 3, his first appearance overall in the series. With it, Cameron Pickersgill for the face-off, as he'll win the draw. On it over Treppy as Nikolic passes it back to center ice. One Whaler sent all the way to the hard side boards, outstage left. As Brzdozhnuk finds Jake Pickersgill. 1 minute to go in the first period. One more Whaler knocked on down. Cameron Pickersgill tries to swing. Try to pass across. Nikolic instead gives it to Harvey. Caught like an outfielder. Martin waits behind the net. Jake Pickersgill provides pressures. The puck rolls on by. Uplager waves the puck hello. He'll wave it goodbye as well as he gets the icing call. 36 seconds left in the first. And a couple different checks going on in that as well. Of course, it's been a physical series that's talked about. Now we'll see how the intensity picks up in this 1-0 hockey game before the end of this first period here on We Digital Productions. Aces going with their second line. Cameron as the center spot as the Whalers toss the puck to the roof instead. We'll have an hour draw as that goes out of play for obvious reasons of hitting those A-frames in gray roofing. Cameron Pickersgill will reset. Bryce Shepman moves to one of the wing spots. Jake Pickersgill moves to the right wing. As the Whalers caught for the face-off violation, Sacco moves back to his position. Draw this time, won by Niagara. This time, they don't hit the ceiling as Pickersgill has to retreat back to his own blue line. With it, Yetman. Pass back center ice. Toss back into the corner for the breakout. Under 20 seconds to go in the first. Masterson trying to move it back up. Pass bounces off its intended target to Nikolic. Nikolic intercepted once more. Goes on back to Nikolic. Verstoshnuk calls for the hurry up. 5 seconds to go in the period. They clear the area. Yetman can't get to it as the Whalers drain out the clock after 20 minutes of play. The Windsor Aces lead 1-0 over the Niagara Whalers in Game 1, Game 3 rather, of the first round of the Greater Metro Hockey League playoffs. We'll take a step aside when we come back. We'll have the start of your second period. You're watching We Digital Productions. Aces lead over the Whalers 1-0. Welcome back, everyone, to We Digital Productions' coverage of Game 3 of the first round of the Greater Metro Hockey League playoffs as the Windsor Aces lead 1-0 over top the Niagara Whalers. I'm Justin Prince. Welcome back to today's coverage. Zach Gilbo has the only goal in the game so far after getting an assist from Corey Prefo and Ivan Sabodin. But so far, we've already seen 3 penalties. 2 going against the Whalers against Bailey Fletcher and Francisco Gigliani, along with a tripping call for that penalty that came out at the 9:50 to go mark for Austin Friesen for the Windsor Aces side. So far, no power play goals, 17 shots from the Aces, 14 from the Whalers, as we're about to get back underway with the second period. A quick update in terms of the goaltender situation with the Whalers. They are playing Harvey for the start of this second period. Zachary Uplager still stays in the crease for the Windsor Aces side as we just about get set to go. Cameron Pickersgill wins the draw for Windsor. We're back on our way in Windsor. Whalers off to a very quick start out to the puck check and stop shot from Tanner Ferreira. They try and pick it back up on the blue line, taken off sides. Bailey Fletcher can't keep it on sides. So we'll have a redraw just 15 seconds into the second period. Of course, an active period as discussed with the amount of shots so far from both sides. However, could be considered a sloppy one with the amount of turnovers as the face-off draw is called. Face-off violation is called, rather, on Fletcher. A quick reset, it seems to be on Uplager's side of the ice, which is causing the delay with his padding. As he readjusts the padding for safety concerns, as you can see in your upper right corners of your screens today. As he's all prepared for the face-off, and the Aces and Whalers are ready to get back underway as the Aces win the draw, and they try and move it out of their own zone. Luke Mahan moves it along the ice, quickly tries to ice it. Is going to get the icing to go the other direction. A very quick call for the icing that time, coming from what appears to be, in fact, is Dave Fedek, as he trying to move it down to the corner just at center ice. Face-off will take to the right side of Uplager. Face-off won by Niagara, their first of the period as the quick shot's deflected away. Move back to the Whalers zone as Harvey says hi to the puck. Masterson will take away the puck all the way back to the Windsor side once more. Just about 30 seconds into the second period as the clock has started moving all of a sudden to 19:22. It looks like the officials have noticed the clock and are going to reset that set clock back to 19 minutes, 30 seconds left in the second, so 30 seconds in. As this is the reason for the slight delay on this draw here on Windsor Productions. Of course, the winner of the series, as talked about, will take on the Kingsville Kings. They swept the Niagara on the Lake Score Nationals 2-1. Face off this time, won by the Whalers. Toss back up for a second shot as Fletcher can't get it by Uplegger, draws in our face off. Here's the clock is sticked at 19:22. They still have to burn about another few seconds before it gets back to where it needs to be. Draw this time by Windsor. They move it around, quickly got stolen away. Valani got blocked on the shot. Picked up in the near side, Jake Pickersgill. Trying to pass it towards the blue line. Saucer passed up, picked up by Yetman. Has Cameron Pickersgill on the other side on the 2-on-2. Can't get it to Cameron Pickersgill. Jake gets it off the window. Passed across it by Masterson. Move back up the ice. Here comes Valani. Valani on the left wing. Mahan tries to stop it. Fletcher gets the puck. Moves by Mahan. Guest back onto the ice. Back into play after going off in the first period. He'll move back towards the left side. Valani tries to pass back through traffic as Yetman intercepts it. Flips it up to the sky. Masterson keeps it on sides. Line change pursues. 1 minute into the second period here on Windsor Productions. Aces still lead 1-0 as the Whalers change that. They score! A quick shot down low from the right side of the slot. And Tanner Ferreira leads the goal celebration. We're tied back up at 1. A quick bang play right down low, bounced off every corner of the net before rolling to the back of the net. And the Whalers now have tied things up at 1. Windsor Aces win the draw. Heading into this series, as talked about a few moments, Tanner Ferreira had 21 goals, 28 assists. That would mark another in this postseason run. As the Aces have the puck passed on by Coy Prevost as it goes back to the Whalers once more. Move back across center ice towards Uplegger. Uplegger retreats, has to pass it in traffic as Sacco intercepts it. Treppy amongst the players for the Whalers on that side of the ice. Aces get it instead. Coy Prevost sees it passed along. Able to find Sabonin. Zach Gilbo waits on the left side of the slot. Sabonin goes through the slot on the pass, doesn't find anybody till Goulin gets it at the point. Goulin tries to swing it at Sabonin, back with it. Sabonin bounces off the back of the net, trying to poke it from behind Prevost. Kenyon swats at the back of somebody as Goulin gets it back. Puck cleared away just past 2 minutes into the second, tied up at 1. Here comes Martin. Martin, rich shot, kicked away softly by Uplegger on the shoulder. Whalers still keep it in the Aces zone. They try and shoot it down low, deflected up above the referee's head. Able to be cleared along now by Ganlon. Martin gets it. Martin tries to deke Uplegger, able to get a glove on it to draw the face-off as two teammates collide. 2.5 minutes into the period as the Aces have now seen their 1-0 lead turn to a 1-1 tie after the goal set up involving Tanner Ferreira just about a minute ago. It'll be the son of normal assistant coach. It's Matt Schumann, Mason Schumann, losing the draw this time to the Aces as he sees a check along the boards. Cameron Pickersgill's knocked off his skates. Yetman tries to go on a rush back towards Harvey. Yetman dekes. Yetman has it poked away by Schumann. Schumann tries to take it on the near side boards, going from coast to coast. Still taking it from coast to coast. Wrist shot deflected just right of the post. Mahan able to move it back. Gets it back at the point. Gets wrist shot blocked with a sliding puck to Jake Pickersgill. He calls for a line change to get off the ice. Gigliotti takes it back into the Windsor zone. Gigliotti passed back through Guest. Bounced back its way to Friesen. Friesen circles around a couple times. Uses Mahan as a pick as he draws up the play. Intercepted on the pass as it goes back to the Aces corner. Mahan Works around the net. Goes for the two-line pass. Gets called for high sticking. Will head the other direction to the Whalers zone. Just past 3 minutes and 30 seconds now into this second in a wild sequence of events in this matchup here tonight. The face-off dot for the Whalers. It'll be Fletcher once more. Fletcher had a goal in that game for 1 loss. Last time these two were in Knox Arena, he won the draw. Whalers pressed against the boards. Quick shot kicked away, Harvey. Ferreira able to pick it up on the near side. Passed across to the far side. Intercepted to Fletcher. Goes back to Masterson to Ferreira. Ferreira tosses it to the corner. Nearly sent it out of the ballpark. Instead hits the mesh. And we'll have an air face-off, this time in the neutral zone with Tim Brooks, the linesman, able to go for the draw, to drop the draw. Again, Fletcher's been very active throughout the year, had a couple penalties in that last matchup. Has had a penalty, rather, in this matchup so far. We'll try and get on the score sheet with 16:02 to go in the second. With it, McKee, passed along, intercepted by Kasai. Kasai softly tossed, moved back to the neutral zone. Fletcher across to Ferreira. Tic-tac-toe pass intercepted, trying to get it across to Voani. Moved back and picked up by Hardig. Hardig taken up. Hardig still passed on back. Kasai, wrist shot, misses above the window. Picked up again by Ferreira as he moves across center ice. Moving towards Broadway Street. Poked away by Uplager. Second chance, third chance, poked around a few times. Couple of different sliding poke checks as Martin's called for the offsides once more. Another offsides. We're not even 5 minutes into the second period, mind you, today. Now, with these two teams, the Windsor Aces on the season had 272 goals for, 202 goals against, rather. That's compared to the 227 to 248 that the Whalers seen this past season, throughout the regular season. Martin misses Uplager, tossing it into the Windsor zone. Along the boards, Hembroff. Still looking for a man to get to. Prevo breaks it up. Prevo moves it along. Cross center ice. Poked away by Martin nearly. Still picked up by Trippy. Trippy will circle back behind Harvey. Moved along to Hembroff. Can't handle the strong pass. Gagnon back to Goulin. Gagnon and Goulin at the defenseman spots at the moment. Prevo along with Gilbo. Lined up as well as Sabonin. Stolen away by the Whalers. Huge check as Ferreira's knocked up his wickets, make it Sacco. Sabonin now takes it up on a 2-on-2. Prevo with them. Prevo sees Sabonin deflected around as that's caught. And we'll have another face-off on another stop by Harvey. In the regular season, Harvey had a 9-6 record with a 5.21 goals allowed average, save percentage of .879, and no shutouts. And as talked about, allowed 7 goals in that last matchup in the postseason this year. The Windsor Aces won the draw. Gigliotti, with the help of Brooks, breaks it up. Yetman knocked off his skates. Shoemaker rushes up on his skates. Passed on back to the Windsor Aces instead. Cameron Pickersgill now takes it up, has Yetman down low. Yetman open, crease, couldn't handle the pass, loses his stick. Able to get it back, the Whalers, as they go across the ice pass. Jake gets the steal. Back to Bryce, down low, Cameron, stopped by Harvey. Gets it with the right side blocker. Gagnon gets it back on the clear attempt by Niagara. Just past 6 minutes into the second period, and we Digital Productions were tied up at 1 goal apiece. As Jake Pickersgill tries to check behind, picked up Gigliotti. Given to Shoemate. Shoemate charges up. Poked away by Nikolic. Charges his way back around Shoemate and Nikolic. Jake gets it instead. Jake along the near sideboards with the help of Yetman moves up. Yetman passed on. Passed through the crease. Ends up getting picked up by the Whalers once more. They got a potential 3-on-2 coming up the ice. Passed on back. Masterson down low, stopped by Uplager. Second chance set up. Fletcher open crease, scores! Cart Villani there from the open crease shot gives the Whalers the 2-1 lead. amongst the group as well. Tanner Ferreira to lead the charge to be able to set things up for the Whalers goal. We've just seen Niagara score 2 unanswered goals in the past 7 minutes. And the Whalers lead for the second game in a row at this point of a game. Remember, we're tied up at 2 goals even in game number 2. As the Windsor Aces and Whalers go back and forth up the ice. Moved around, picked up by Windsor. Skated along, poked around. Picked up once more, again by Martin. Martin flipped up by Perstoshnook. Perstoshnook gets it. Perstoshnook looks on the right side. Hardick trying to deep. Pass it across the ice instead to Cameron Pickersgill. Make that Austin Friesen as he gets it to Kasai. Kasai fakes the slap shot. Poked away instead. That time in the poke by Bastian. Bastian sees it, pass down low. Setting up Sabonin, missing the crease. He had the first goal in the postseason in game 1 for the Windsor Aces. Martin will take it up instead. Martin cross ice, able to find Valenti. Deflected around, tied up Fletcher. As he tied up with Friesen. Nicklick takes it away from the post. Moves it up on the 2-line pass, back to Kasai. Kasai trying to go for the drag forward as he got it poked away. Now went back with the Niagara. Passed along by McKee to Coy Prevo. Coy Prevo has it poked away. Taking McKee. McKee tied up with Goulin. Charging back on a Trippy. Move back to center ice again. Back to Gilbo. Back to Prevo. Misses Prevo. Gilbo moves back to center ice exactly. Moves his way around Guest. Trippy able to get it deflected away as that nearly said hello to the fans as the puck lands into the mesh. Face off in a very quick past minute and a half with 11:37 to go in the second. Bryce Chapman will come back onto the ice at the center ice spot, it appears. Yes, indeed. As he lines up with Goulin, Mahan, Gilbo, and Prevo. Face off won by Trippy. Coy Prevo still gets it. Tries to work his way around Dallas McKee. Pass down low. Deflected away instead. Mahan collides with 2 different Whalers. Gilbo tries to pass it back. Gilman, one-time shot off the blocker of Harvey. Prevo can't keep it on sides as it goes back to the neutral zone. Move back into the Whaler zone. That's McKee. Pass back Guest. Tossed again to center ice. Again Gilbo. Gilbo takes it on sides. Prevo, Yetman with them. Gilbo misses just wide right. Mahan moves back to the right side. Point to give it back to Gilbo. Back down low. Tries to pass in the traffic. Prevo. Cross to Goulin and the slot misses. Move back into the Aces zone. Uplager comes out of the crease. Passes off the boards to get away from pressure. Wide open is Prevo. Chance of the 1-1-1. Martin breaks it up. Prevo gets pressed against the boards by Martin. Goulin tries to set up Gilbo as the whistle's called. Net is off its mornings for the face-off. And another high-paced past couple moments with the 2-1 score. 10:39 to go in the second. Just about halfway through the second period. Are you enjoying what you're seeing? Be sure to go to WeDigital.ca to see more action for the Windsor Aces in the Greater Metro Hockey League. Also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. Facebook face off, won by Niagara. As now they try and get it out of the Windsor zone instead. Appears it might have hit a Windsor Ace on the bench. Might have hit the pads of Max Weinman, pardon me. That you might see on the upper left corner of your screen along that bench, which calls for the neutral zone face-off. Face-off won by Niagara. Genkoyani can't get back to it, though, as Cameron tosses it in. Harvey hands it off to Martin. Martin feeling pressure. Jake Pickersgill, Bryce Shetman, Cameron Pickersgill all in the zone. Passed on up Martin. Martin with it still. Drags his way around, loses the puck, gets it back. Gets pressed against the boards by Nikolic. Taken once again, Shoemate. Shoemate, pass across. Martin scores! Shoemate to Martin through the traffic. Makes it 3 unanswered Whalers goals as the Bluebirds come out. For Martin, in the regular season, he was the team's top point scorer with 26 goals and 43 assists. Tonight, he gets on to the board for the first time today in the postseason. In game number 2, he had a grand total of 1 assist. Able to get on the score sheet today for a goal to give his team a 3-1 lead halfway through the second period. Whalers trying to make it 4-1 as the puck moves its way around. Guest on the shot, kicked away. Once again, Uplegger. Brzdostuk feels the pressure. Mahan has a misread. Valani nearly charged on the puck. Hardy gets it alongside the Whalers bench. Kasai moves it along. Friesen able to just get on sides. Kasai checked off the puck. Lands on top of the glass into the mesh. They'll go for the face-off. As Ferreira has a disagreement, as you see, with Tim Brooks. They're going to say they want the I think he says he wants the face-off at the blue line. Where it hit, they're going to say center, going to go to, rather, the Whalers zone to the right side of Harvey, as that happened inside the Whalers zone. Face-off won by the Whalers. Guest rolls it along the glass. Back to Mahan. Mahan deflected. Kasai bounces around as the Whalers take it away. They go on the charge. Valani one-on-one with Brzdostuk. Goes on the right side. Deflected again. Another opportunity moves away side. Hardig presses against 2 players. Well, on to Mahan. Setting up again. Fletcher down low. Open crease. Guest scores! James Guest gets himself on the score sheet. Make it 4 unanswered Whalers goals. And the Windsor Aces still looking for their first series victory in franchise history after being eliminated by the Whalers in a full sweep in the first round last season, are now being outscored 4-1 with under 30 minutes to go in regulation in this series. The Aces win the draw, 8:53 to go in the second. Gilbo tries to give it back by Sobonin, deflected around, knocked out of midair. They say late puck pass with the glove. And that's going to draw the play dead. Face-off will take place in the Whalers zone. And they just gave a bench technical. They have just given a bench technical against the Whalers for a disagreement here. As they move, Ferreira appears, and there's Sacco to the box. Yes, that's Sacco. Still 4-1 is your score. 8:45 to go in the second. And it looks like the Whalers have just put themselves a man down with the bench technical. Face-off won by the Aces, and this might be a chance to swing the momentum back in their direction. Still looking for the first power play goal of the series. That's Prevost. Gets it off the rebound to Gilbo. Gilbo across to Yetman. Yetman back to Nikolic. Yetman waits on the side. Poked away. Able to get it back after Hembroth's poke. Across the ice. Slap shot. Kicked away by the Pillows. Yetman gets the rebound to Nikolic. Back to Prevost at the point. Jake tries to set the screen. Yetman, wrist shot. Off the blocker. Moves back to Prevost again. Still a minute 23 to work with on the power play. Back down low, Yetman. From the ground pass, kept just on sides by Prevost. Whalers call to account to the screen. Gilbo tries to get it through the screen. Yetman gets it through, scores! Bryce Yetman, a power play goal. Makes it 4-2. For Bryce Yetman, it's been a quiet series for parts of the times. Last game had 2 goals to assist to get himself onto the stat sheet for the postseason, along with the 1 assist in game 1. He now has his 3rd goal of the postseason on the power play score. It's now 4-2. And of course, with the bench technical, and it looks like they're getting the clarification now for the scores table now from Ken Wilson to figure out how they call this here. They will take the player out the penalty box in Sacco, and as expected, bring this back to 5-on-5 action with still a 2-goal deficit for the Aces to deal with. Under 8 minutes to go in the second here on Windsor Productions. Jake Pickersgill finds Yetman. Yetman, wrist shot! Harvey able to squeeze the pillows to stop the puck. And Yetman on a big time rush that time. Yetman, as talked about, had a bit of a quiet game number 1 to start off this series. Was able to get on the assist sheet. However, started scoring the last game, scoring just a couple of the Aces, 2 of the 4 Aces goals. Now has his third goal of the series. Puck picked up Valani. Tripped up a little bit. No call on the play. Valani trips on another player. Another whistle called. Multiple whistles going against the Aces as the Whalers bench explodes. A couple different times there was chances for penalties, and they get on the last one. And it looks like we're going back the other direction. Penalty shot is the official call, and this is the first time we have seen this all season for a trip on a breakaway, in fact. Penalty shot is the official call for the first time in 2018-19 at 80 Knox Terminal Arena. Valani will go for a penalty shot. There's been a couple times, and the reason there was the hesitation at first, that it's been called a regular trip in these kind of situations. But this being the postseason, different times call for much more higher stakes. It will be Kurt Valani going for the penalty shot. The first one at 80 Knox Terminal Arena in 2018-19. He had 8 goals and 25 assists in the regular season on 24 appearances. 1 power play goal as well as 2 game winners for the Whalers this season, a part of their 21-20-1 season record. Valani all set to go as we get set for our first penalty shot of the 2018-19 season in this arena. Valani puts at the wrister, stopped by Uplegger. And both teams will retake the ice. There comes the 2-minute minor. So Uplegger able to keep it a 4-2 game. And now the Aces are going to be on the penalty kill. Both teams come back out onto the ice now as they get ready for this once more. So far, we have seen the power play goal from the Aces side. The power play penalty kill percentage for the Aces, 83% in the regular season. The Whalers had a 16% power play rate as they get all set to go. Both sides getting clarification here on this 4-2 game as the penalty comes off the board for the Aces side. And they get the official confirmation that they can keep it 5-on-5 after the penalty shot. Kilbo gets the puck after the one drop by Windsor. Already takes up his own rush. Moves up, quick shot. Nearly bounced its way through the post. Kept down sides by Prevost, caught by Harvey for the draw. Just about 7 minutes now to go in the second with Coy Prevost starting to get more and more activity in this series. Again, with the scratch towards the later portions of the season, just 11 games for Coy Prevost in the regular season, but has been a key contributor in the forward spots this postseason after injuries seen to both Lucas Mendoza along with Dalton Langlois. Taken by Martin now. Poked away by Windsor. Prevost, chance for a quick break. Takes to the right, puts up a shot. They wave off the shot as the net comes off its moorings. And a couple of whistles blowing as they say they will go the other direction for the face-off. At the very least, it's way to deflect, and then there was apparently a second puck towards that side as well as the net comes back on its moorings. And they'll have the face-off indeed on this side of the ice on your screens to the right side of Harvey on your left sides. As Prevost loses the draw. Sabardin tries to charge at Martin. Martin tied up on up, able to find his way to Valani. Valani poked on back by Gilbo. Gilbo tied up. Moving forward once more, Fletcher. Fletcher poked away Valani. Again, Prevost. Prevost takes it on the left wing. Prevost poked away by Martin. Back across. 2-line pass. And a player is down inside the Whalers crease as the net came loose. That would be Bailey Fletcher that was sent into the net of his own team. And comes out of the crease. That means a redraw after a possible chance for Valeni up the ice at center ice. 6:32 to go in the period, though. Put the face-off in the neutral zone. We're on the same spot as where the draw was attracted from before. Shoemate wins the draw. Guest with it. Cross. Masterson. Masterson circles. Back again, Guest. Back to Masterson. To Gigliotti. Gigliotti dekes a couple times. Moves its way to the near side corner. Wedged by two aces. Enters a poke check party. Tries to avoid one. He gets pressed back into it. Still battling now Beresford, a part of the helpers. Doolin tied up now with Shoemate. Both of them try and keep battle on the boards. Able to be picked up by Nicollet. Kept just on sides though by Guest. Huge checked off stage left. That's Doolin. Passed on again. Passed off the boards, Friesen to Hardick. Hardick flipped up to the sky. Back to Guest again to the blue line. Across into the aces zone. 5:40 to go in the second period. Whalers still lead 4-2 over the Windsor Aces. Shoemate across the Guest, blocked on the pass. Guest has it poked away, and a second time Guest has a problem. High stick caught against Windsor, and for the second time he's off to the locker room, immediately taking off both his gloves, throwing his stick, and now having words with what appears to be Dave Fedek. Second time this game, this has happened. This time it is Gagnon who appears to be signaled towards the penalty box, indeed is into the penalty box. Now for a bit of clarification in terms of that sign, as Guest continues to argue his case for more so. In the last game, in game number 1, the penalty box as well as the locker room doors for the Whalers side are right next to each other. So it seems as though the Aces, to avoid that situation here for game number 3, are having the players serve the penalties on their bench with a barricade blocking the doors away from the penalty box. That may be not why you might not see visually a player in said box. Still a minute 37 on that power play. 5 minutes to go in the second. Whalers still without a shot. Making a shot now as Fletcher gets it. Pass back down low to Masterson. Back to Fletcher. Fletcher down low. Valeni. Blocked by Nicollet. Treating back as Martin to get the puck with a minute 20 to work with. Masterson sees the puck, whizzes way to Martin's way. Cleared by Prevost, over top the head of Brooks. Moved back towards Valeni. Yetman tries to poke it for a short-handed rush instead. Picked up by Fletcher. Fletcher nearly loses the puck. Prevost does poke it loose. Masterson gets some luck with using Brooks' skates. Valeni. Cross to Fletcher, kicked away. Yetman clears it once more back to center ice. 50 seconds to go in the power play. Whalers keeping the same line. Moved on forward. Poked away from Fletcher. Back again. Ferreira skates Yetman out of his shoes. Yetman sees it blocked on the shot by Guest. Prevost now takes it on the left wing. Dekes his way around Martin. Looking for a man to pass to. Tosses it around. Yetman goes out to the far side corner. Back to Prevost at the point, still on the short-handed attack. Whalers now trying to go for another shot chance with 13 seconds on the power play. 3:37 to go in the second. Yetman shot stopped for the face-off. And still 8 seconds left on the power play. Of course, the Aces, during the regular season especially, were known for if they can find a player, especially Yetman, on the short-handed rush, they would go for it 9 times out of 10. They had 15 short-handed goals in the regular season as Mahan has it kicked away by Harvey. Jake Pickersgill gets the rebound to the chest to Harvey for the face-off. And the Pickersgill brothers have been very active throughout this postseason in terms of shots and are also, of course, known for their point production. Both Cameron and Jake throughout the regular season had a combined total 22 for Jake. Cameron, 15 goals. Total points above 70 combined for the Aces. Zach Gilbo passed down low. Cameron charges at it. Slide from Trippy to break up the play. Passed along to Sacco. Multiple players trying to enter a poke check party as Gilbo comes out with it. Gilbo, wrist shot, deflected wide of the net. Mahan picks it down low, cross down to the point. Jake back with it. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey as Harvey says hello to the glove as he gets the glove save. We'll have the redraw as Harvey continues to have a stronger performance than game number 1. Face-off once again takes place inside his own zone. And has to deal with the pressure once more for the Windsor Aces on this side of the ice. Face-off one, face-off, sees the shot deflected away. Mahan loses the puck along the far side boards with 2:48 to go in the period. Kicked along, Gigliotti. Gigliotti finds Shoemate, misses Shoemate to Mahan. Mahan passed along by Jake, offsides waved off. Back to Harvey, back to Masterson. Masterson avoids the check, gets it to Gigliotti. Moves up to Birdsford. Birdsford loses it. Gilbo poked away from Jake Pickersgill. Back to Gigliotti. Gigliotti tries to move by. No whistle on the play. Nearly put a stick towards the face of an ace. Cameron Pickersgill can't get it out of the Aces' own zone as it's tossed into the Whalers bench. And we got a fight. Gilbo tied up with a couple of players as Gigliotti after the whistle was knocked into the bench boards. Also shoved down a second player as the fight dissipates quickly with the tensions from game 1 on players' minds still. 2:10 to go in the second. More frustration on both sides. What has been an octane-filled inning, an adrenaline-filled series so far. Whalers win the draw. Ferreira moved up Fletcher. Fletcher, wrist shot, covered up. Uplaker gets the face-off draw. Now to clarify, of course, in that matchup between the two teams, the Windsor Aces had actually been trailing at one point in that matchup in game number 1. Then Windsor scored 4 straight. Make it 4 straight, yes indeed, goals throughout that period. That blew things wide open in that matchup and really set the tempo for the third period. Meanwhile, Ferreira down low. Fletcher has it poked away from him. Picked up Friesen. Guest charges at it. Bounced around. Fletcher, wrist shot block. Second chance, he tries to circle around. Avoids a slide poke from Harding. Move back, Guest, wrist shot blocked. Fletcher again picks up the rebound. Valenti tries to find it. Harding was checked on down. Goes by Harding. Back to Guest. Move back. One-timer. Goes over top gloves. Kasai again with it. Minute 15 to go in the second. Moves up coast to coast. Stops along the red line. Crosses the blue line. Now to the far side. Now sandwiched by Guest. Flapped up by Niagara for the 2-line clear. Back to Nikolic. 1 minute to go in the second. Getman has it stripped away. Ferreira. Pass to the slot. Pass across. Fletcher covers it up for the face-off. And another shot on Uplager in this period as the shots build up. 51 seconds to work with. Uplager's been dealing with a lot of shots throughout this series. In game number 1 alone, 49 shots from Windsor, 54 from Niagara. Game 2, he had to face 32. As face-offs drawn once more. Of those, though, 13 apiece in the first and second. Then, just 6 recorded shots on goal by Niagara. However, the 4 unanswered in the period. Face-off one again, this time by Windsor. One Whaler down as he gets on up. That's Hembraw. Puck still battles around. Sacco caught on the stick of Prevost. Move back to center, across center ice. 30 seconds to go in the period. Wrist shot. Stopped by Harvey for the face-off. As a couple players shove on the far stage left. That would appear to be Yetman tied up with Martin a little bit. Face-off sets up inside the Whalers zone once more with Yetman facing off against Fletcher. Looks like the Whalers trying to communicate what they want for the lines here. Took a second to get the right lines on the ice. Whalers win the draw. Villani charges the other way. Tries to go with the wrist shot. Blocked on the initial attempt. Still 20 seconds left in the period. Move back to the neutral zone. Move back to Uplegger for the stop. Able to hand it back off to Mahan. Mahan with 10 seconds to work with. Bounces its way to Yetman. Yetman has it poked away. Picked up by Villani. 4 seconds left to Fletcher. Slap shot. Rebound chance. He scores! Kurt Villani on the rebound. Makes it 5-2. And the Whalers go to the locker room with the momentum. They score at the buzzer to make it 5-2. They go off to cheer. They go off to have their own words. They are amped up after the Skolds score. Just as the buzzer expired, the Aces still trail by 3 with 20 minutes to go in regulation. Can they come back to try and keep their postseason hopes alive, or will the Whalers go on to the second round and defeat the Aces for a second straight year? We'll take a short break and find out afterwards. You're watching Weed Digital Productions from 80 Knox from the arena. Welcome back, everyone, to the Greater Metro Hockey League, for the third game of the first round of the postseason between the Windsor Aces and the Niagara Whalers. The Whalers lead 5-2 as we're back underway at 80 Knox Terminal Arena. And what has been a wild one if you're a Niagara fan in terms of scoring. I'm Justin Prince. The Whalers so far control the momentum entering this third period and are already on a big opportunity as Fletcher gets stopped by Uplegger. Uplegger draws the face-off in that second period. Tanner Ferreira added in his second goal of the game to start 3 goals straight scored by the Whalers. Martin was involved in the scoring as well as James Guest. Then Bryce Shipman scored the first power play goal of the night between either of these teams or at all at Enoch Terminal Arena before a last-second goal was scored on a 2-on-1 by Kurt Villani. We also seen our first penalty shot of the whole season at Enoch Terminal Arena called just a few moments ago towards the end of the second period. Face-off to take place to the right side of Uplegger with 19:28 to go in regulation. Face-off won this time by the Aces. Milos Nikwick with it. Pass through traffic, 2-line pass. Gilbo tries to pass it across, blocked that time. Move back once more to Coy Prevo, though, still. Finding Gilbo tries to go for the wraparound, swings again as it goes up the top of the glass. Gilbo able to get the rebound, circles back to avoid the check. Calling for it twice as Gilbo. Goulin still calling for it. Gilbo blocked on the shot. Cleared back towards the point. Taking up the ice, 2-on-2 chance. Ferreira across. Villani trying to pass it to Ferreira. Nowhere they're able to pick it up, though. Here comes the Aces again. Prevo. Wrist shot misses above the net. Bounces back around to Ferreira. Ferreira hits the A-frames as we'll have a face-off. Of course, hitting those A-frames up on the roof. Technically truss roofing. As we'll have the draw. 18:39 to go. Just about a minute 30 seconds in here on Weed Digital Productions. I'm Justin Prince. 5-2 is your score for the Whalers over the top the Aces in game number 3 in this series deciding game today. Whistle called. It's going to be an elbow. They say at least a high stick maybe appears to call at least. Yes, indeed, it is high stick. As we'll have the face-off once more on the Whalers side. It's a high stick against the Aces side. Apologies for the split second. As we'll have the quick draw. Face-off won by Windsor. Picked up by Hardig. Hardig misses McKee. Tries to pass back. Whalers with it instead. Hembrock leaves the charge. Hembrock loses it. Move back to Hardig. Swung back over top the head of Martin as it's moved back behind Harvey. Harvey gets pressed against the boards. Hardick tries to come for the wraparound. Cameron Pickersgill trying to provide pressure. Moving to the far side. Hardick pressed against the boards by Martin. Mahan comes into towards the rush. Sacco. Swung on back. Goes into the bench instead for the draw. Just past 2 minutes now into the third period. The shots in that period around the double-digit mark for both sides once more. However, the Whalers had more quality shots compared to the first period. Despite having 14 shots in the first, a lot of them were on quick releases and or into traffic. They got some of their best opportunities in the second period all series so far. Aces trying to get an opportunity for themselves. They get intercepted on the pass. Taken up on the near side. Here comes Shoemate. Shoemate charging from coast to coast for a shot stop. Bounce back down low as Gagnon takes it away from the crease. Gagnon left over Gigliotti. The two-line pass misses Hardick. Hardick calls for the line change. Jake Pickersgill retreats back. Shoemate tries to deke his way by Cameron Pickersgill. Helped out by Gigliotti. Losing his stick is Sean Gagnon. Taken away still by Cameron Pickersgill. Moved back into the Windsor zone, this time by Villani. Again, Nikolic this time. The three-line pass goes off the mark meanwhile. Finds its way to Ferreira. Ferreira dekes left. Pass to the slot. Uplegger stops it. Teammate dives on top of it. And a Whaler Neary dives on top as well. We'll have the face-off. That burns an extra minute off the clock. Langolin that time coming in for the assist to help stop that puck rather on with Zachary Uplegger on the ground. Moving back to the face-off dot will be Fletcher versus Yetman. It's been about 60% today. Fletcher over Yetman on the face-off dot as they both want each other to be mindful of where their sticks are. Fletcher wins with his stick. Great shot. Sees Uplegger catch it with his glove. That time leaving the stick of Ferreira. As we have 3 minutes even into this third period. Fletcher and Yetman once more battle. Fletcher again wins another draw. Quick passing! Moved away and cleared away by Windsor. One Whaler down on the Aces side of the ice. Harvey covers it up as he gets a snow shower. Cleared down the ice back up for the Whalers side. Slow get up was Villani appeared as we'll have a face-off 10 seconds after the last one. This time, it'll be Harvey having to deal with the pressure as they change the center iceman. Yetman swaps with Prevost for this draw. This time, he wins the draw. Comes up with it behind the net. Pass to Yetman, one-timer blocked. Taken away by the Whalers as they go for the pass up to Villani. Pass back for Fletcher. Fletcher, wrist shot. Goes sky high up to the sky. As we'll have the draw down low on the ground. About 16:35 now to go in this third period. Winner of this series, to remind you, takes on the Kingsville Kings. Which, if that was the case, would have implications big time for the Aces side at least. A chance to beat the team that defeated them last season. Chance to win their first series in franchise history. And a chance to play against the local team in the next round of the postseason. Whalers, though, still up by 3. Sacco has it kicked away. Down low, Hembroff. Pass to the slot, taken away by Gilbo. Taken back by Guest. Guest slot, wrist shot blocked. Again, bounces around towards the slot. Picked up by Yetman. Yetman has Coy Prevost cross ice. Yetman has to stop. Masterson takes it away. 4 minutes into this third period. Whalers lead 5-2. Mahan. Two-line pass to Prevost. Prevost avoids the sandwich. Ends up becoming the meat instead. Flung up by Austin Friesen to the corner. Into the Whalers zone, the puck goes. Off the ice goes Prevost with the line change as the Whalers take it back to neutral zone. They try and move on the right side, Sacco. Ambroff moves towards the slot. Sacco swings it to the near side boards. Taken away by Windsor once more. Kasai with Gilbo. Gilbo moves up the right side. Kasai has to move away. Goes right to the crease, all the way to the far side. Boards as Friesen sandwiched. Gilbo poked around a couple times. Kasai tried to pass back, taken away by Martin instead. Cleared out of the zone, back to Friesen. Aces force retreat, back to the neutral zone. They keep it on sides as Niagara takes it back inside their own zone once more. Both teams complete their line changes, moving up the right side. Martin has it poked by Friesen, passed on back, stolen away by Mahan on the pass attempt down low. Yetman now takes it on the wing. Stops back towards center ice. Mahan has to toss it in. Avoids the offsides just a quarter way through the third period. McKee able to find Martin. Martin avoids a couple poke checks. Swung back from behind. Mahan back to Martin. Martin, three-line pass, trying to find Shoemate. Right to Nikolic out of the box. Able to come out of his own building box. As Kasai tries to pass to Sabonin. Passed on back instead. Bounced off the boards, back to Uplegger. Circles a 360, ends up bouncing it back off his own net as Nikolic tries to reset things. Whalers still trying to go for the line change as Gulen will take it up. 6 minutes into the third period. Just 14 minutes to go in regulation. Aces need to close a 3-goal lead for a chance to win their first series in franchise history. Whalers clear it out. Offsides and icing waved off as Nikolic gets it. And now a line change from Niagara's Hardig takes it. Hardig passed up from the two lines. Gagnon has Sabonin rush. Pass back to Gagnon. Digging around Hardig towards the slot. Diving on top of it, Harvey for the face-off. And Hardig, who has seen a lot of time this year, just 29 total games played this year. 28 points in the regular season, has been seen more and more time towards the end of the season. Missed some spot games here and there in the regular season, in the mid-portion. Kept on sides by Windsor. Martig has it pass going around. Misses off a bunch of marks as Gulen has to retreat. Fletcher trying to provide pressure. Nikolic swings it to Hardig. Hardig up the right wing, cross to the left to Jake Pickersgill, misses. Taken instead by the Whalers. With it, Villani stops towards the face-off. Dots knocked off the puck by Nikolic. Behind the back pass, way off the mark from Hardig. Intercepted by Martin. Martin loses it back to Hardig. Hardig forced to feel the pressure in the corner. Moved up to Jake Pickersgill, misses. Icing called by Harvey, waved off by the officials. Pressed against the corner side. Moved along the near side. Delayed penalty coming up against Windsor. Still taken up by Ferreira. Ferreira digs around Mahan. Has it poked away. Picked up behind the net. Back to Ferreira. Ferreira uses the officials as a pick. Poked away by Windsor as the penalty comes up. And it's going to be a penalty against the Aces. Jake Pickersgill to the box. And it looks like it is checking from behind is the official call, as signaled by Ken Wilson. 2-minute minor for Pickersgill. And if the Whalers get the power play goal, this could be a possible dagger. To the dot this time, Trippy. Taking on Yetman. Yetman wins it. Mahan can't clear it. Masterson keeps it at the point. Back with it, Sacco. Sacco, tic-tac to Trippy. Sacco can't get a quality shot. Cleared away back to Masterson, all the way back to his own blue line, back to his own zone, in fact. Move back to center ice. Sacco. Sacco skates towards the right side. Passed on back, poked on back. Yetman tosses it again to Mahan. Whalers want the play call. They move it back to the neutral zone in the clear. Taken back in by Guest. Fakes the slap shot, goes to the wrister, misses one right instead. Masterson keeps it on sides. Tries to pass it down low to Hembrov. Line change finishing up. Ferrero amongst the players coming back on the ice for Niagara as it rolls back. They'll change up some more with 1:10 to work with on their power play. 11:35 to go in the third. Moved up once again by Martin. Martin, half moon spin, nearly intercepted, is intercepted. Trying to get a Yetman Koi-Prevo, but intercepted on back. Martin takes it back in the Aces zone. Moved on back for Lanny. Lanny passes to no man's land. Intercepted, but taken back by Masterson. 43 seconds to go on the power play. As now it's taken by Fletcher. Lanny comes as the trailer. Poked around a few times. Villani and Fletcher both swing. Taken away instead by Nikolic. Back to Yetman. No clear attempt for the Aces this time. They'll go in the 3-on-3 attack. Offsides called by a country mile, with Nikolic and Prevost at least 5 strides each ahead of Yetman. We'll have to face off in the neutral zone as both his teammates wondering what was the play call there. As Gilbo will come onto the ice now after the gas. Face-off won by the Whalers. 23 seconds to go on the power play. Fletcher moves it up. Ferreira towards the net. Shot kicked away by Uplager. Second chance blocked by Gilbo. Gilbo still wedged with Whalers, as that is Villani having to get up slowly. Uplager stopped on the shot. Passed along by Gilbo. Back to 5-on-5 Hockey League go as Hardig gets it to Cameron. Taken now by Nikolic. Nikolic passed across the Jake out of the box. In for the quick shot. No. Stopped by Harvey as he draws the face-off and draws the cowbells for the Niagara faithful. 10:19 to go in the third period, and a chance for the Whalers to go to the second round for a second straight year. Remember, they were last year's one of the finalists, rather, for the South Division after beating both Windsor and Canesville on the way to a matchup against the St. George Ravens. Passed up to Shoemate, meanwhile, as offsides is called. Gigliotti a stride and a half ahead of Shoemate. They move the dot to the right side in the neutral zone. Windsor continue to make some slight adjustments with the lineups here as Cameron Pickersgill will go for the draw this time. Now matched up with a line that features still Jake along with Hardig. Matched up as well, though, with Perstoshnik and Mahan as the defensemen. Mahan sees it past the lawn. Hardig spins into 360. Still along that near side board group. Hardig can't get it out of the zone. Mahan tries to swing out, goes back neutral zone off of Jake. Move back to James Guest. Rolls its way instead to Mahan. Line change for the Whalers. Mahan gives it to the left side. Taken still up now by Friesen. Austin Friesen avoids one poke. Pack back to Cameron. Pass goes to Friesen now. Friesen caught by McKee. Move back right on by Langulin. As they'll go to the Windsor zone, both teams go for a line change with under 10 minutes to go in regulation. In Game 3, the first round of the GMHL postseason, here on We Digital Productions. Whalers still lead 5-2. That was after scoring at 1.3 unanswered goals in that second period. Friesen tying up with a couple of different players, taken now by Sacco. Sacco avoids 2 slides. Goes for a soft Frickster, misses wide right. Multiple players scramble for the puck. Cameron Pickersgill chases. Picks it up. Move to Sabotin. Sabotin goes from left side to center. Runs knee to knee into Trippy. Coming back to Yetman instead. Yetman flips it back. Move back to Coy Prevost for the reset. Brian Payne tells his players to reset, come back and reset. Prevost takes it back forward. Called for the offsides. Zach Gilbo, half a stride ahead. And now our face-off coming with 8:24 to go in the third. Second straight period, we'll have a face-off with 8:24 on the clock. Yetman this time at center. Loses the draw this time as Martin gets it. Martin passed off the stick of Fletcher. Goulin chasing after it. Gets it away from Fletcher to Prevost. Back to Goulin. Packs off of the back of Prevost. Move back towards Ferreira. Ferreira, rich shot, nearly smashes the glass. Rolled its way to Bastien. Moved away from Bastien. Back to center ice. Bounce to Ferreira. Taken up in front of the Windsor Aces. Benches the stop. Shot gets stopped. Uplager draws the face-off as he'll hold it in his glove. Under 8 minutes now to go in this postseason matchup. Pressure still continues to build here at Knoxville Marina, the pit as it's called. The Aces coming off a very successful campaign of a 28-12-2. The first time in franchise history they were the favorites heading into a series. All momentum shifted after the final moments of the first game in period number 3. As Uplegger draws the face-off. We'll have an hour draw. Of course, both head coaches have been sitting out since that first game, to quickly recap. Of course, as well, on top of that, you have Joey Zappa, who had his third disqualification of the year, to a 3-game suspension carried over from those past DQs from the regular season. As the Aces give it off, now to Prevost. Prevost gets it to Yetman. Back to Prevost. Prevost drives. Prevost misses. Ferreira tries to pick it up, instead kept by Nikolic at the point. It's taken now by Masterson. Masterson's pass deflected back to Nikolic. Now Mahan underneath an official, the puck goes. Aces go back to their own zone. Gilbo takes it across the blue line into the Whalers zone. Moves around to Yetman. One-timer scores! Zach Gilbo gets on the score sheet for the third time tonight with an assist. He's got 2 goals and 1 goal and 2 assists. For Bryce Yetman, it's his second goal of the night. The Aces still trail 5-3. And Bryce Yetman has been slowed down in terms of his production for parts of this series. But when you allow him to take over, he can score in bunches. Can this be the case today? He wins the draw. His team trails by 2 with 7 minutes to go in the third period. Puck is cleared into the Whalers zone. Martin kept on sides by Golan, taken back by Martin. Martin passed by Yetman. Tic-tac-toe to Shumate. Shumate tries to pass back. Stolen away by Prevost. 2-on-2. Make it 3-on-3 chance. Yetman on the right wing to Gilbo up center. Up a Broadway straight, deflected around. Back to Yetman. Back to the point, Mahan. Mahan's shot caught by Harvey. Able to draw the face off. A weak shot from Mahan. Able to catch it and knock it back down with 6:28 to go in regulation in this third period. 5-3 is your score, as Bryce Yetman scored his second goal of the night to bring this lead within 2. Face-off won by the Whalers and moved all the way back to the Windsor zone. Still inside the Windsor zone, only a couple sticks slashing each other for that puck. Mahan misses a 3-line pass. Harvey kicks it away. Guest intercepted by Hardick. Hardick too strong to charge back at it. Hembroff got it. Taken back by Guest. Guest on the left wing. Down low goes Trippy. Guest has to deflect it up to the mesh for the face-off. Under 6 minutes left on the clock. The fans continue to sit at the edge of their seats here at the pit at 80 Knox Tournament Arena. It's been an exciting season here on Weeds Digital Productions, with lots of fans packing in. The more this game has gone on for this afternoon tilt, the more seats have been filled in a close one. 5-3, 5:50 to go on the clock. Taken up by Prevost, blocked on the first shot, second shot, scores! By Prevost, his third point of the night, his first goal of the night as well. It's now 5-4, and open up the chances for a comeback. Coy Prevost in the regular season, 12 goals, and those 11 appearances, has been on the score sheet a few times already in the postseason. And now, after scoring, what will count on the postseason rather for him this year, as what will appear, in fact, to be his second goal of the postseason. It is now 5-4 with 5:33 to go. Can the Aces make the comeback and force it to overtime? Cameron Pickersgill on the rush, shot deflected right. Stopped by Harvey. Jake Pickersgill can't keep it. Friesen and Hardick also pressed around. Puck goes its way out of play. They'll say face off into the neutral zone. 5:19 on the clock. They'll draw it just outside the Whalers zone after the puck went out just above the bench. Both teams change it up for the first line for Windsor. Face-off won by the Whalers. Ferreira quickly passes it away. Whalers complete a line change as Mahan gets it. Mahan gets it off the goaltender. Able to make the stop. Remember in game 1, Mahan scored his second goal of that game from the blue line. On Harvey, in fact, as Uplegger gets it slowed down on his end. 5 minutes to go. Gilbo and Yetman draw things up. Martin clears things in. Hits the top of the glass, gets it to Fletcher. Fletcher goes towards the net. Mahan pokes it away. Prevost tries to get it back. Deflected around. Villani can't keep it. Behind the net, Gilbo. Gilbo loses it. Villani shoots it off Gilbo's leg. Goin goes for the check. 2 players skate in circles. Villani gets it back to the point. Martin, wrist shot. Tries to get a deflection, misses wide right. Gets it back along the boards. Villani has it bounce off an official. Back to Goin. Hits the ceiling, no whistle called. Just hit the edge of the mesh on the ceiling. They let play continue as it fell back quickly. With it, once again, Goin. Line change from Niagara. Full line change to center ice. Back in front of the Aces bench. 3 minutes, 57 seconds to go in the postseason for the Aces, unless they can score a goal. If Niagara can keep the lead, they'll go on to the second round. The pressure is on. Whalers still lead 5-4. Going up to Yetman. Able to find Prevost to Gilbo. Gilbo takes it. Back to Yetman. Shot! Prevost can't get the second chance rebound. Nicollet keeps it on sides. Cleared away once more by Niagara. Friesen traces it. Both teams reset. Nicollet calling for it to go to Yetman for the rush. Friesen can't get the puck back inside the Windsor zone. Niagara again finishing up a line change as Friesen gets it. Nicollet rather. Back to Friesen. Finds Gagnon. Lands into the Niagara bench. Hello. As that would draw a face-off with 3:08 to go in Game 3 of the GMHL postseason in the first round of said postseason. Fuma Kasai will go to center ice for the Aces. Wins it this time with Sabonin. Friesen tosses it in for the breakout. Looking at it, Harvey. Move back along, Sacco. Trace back to Gagnon. Gagnon whiffs on the pass. Kasai still gets it. Sabonin and Gagnon try and go out front. Kasai needs help. Doesn't get the help as the Whalers get it away. Passed up to Hembroffs. Blocked away, stolen away by Sabonin. Back to Nicollet. Nicollet tries to deke. Move back down. Blocked in front. Circles back around, still Nicollet. Still trapped in the near side corner. Coming up to help is Kasai. They call for a cover-up, and they'll get a face-off. With 2:28 on the clock in your upper left corner screen. Both teams on the edge of their seats. First lines coming on for both sides. Yetman versus Fletcher. When they have been on this end of the ice, they move Prevost to the center spot. He wins the draw. Gilbo down low, misses. Fletcher gets the rebound. He'll try and clear it. Kept just onside by Friesen. Moved away either way, though, on the wall. Coming down the ice, Villani. Aces just get the icing called. And we'll go back to the Whalers' end. Amongst the players on this line tonight. 3 points for Zach Gilbo. 3 points for Coy Prevost. 2 goals for Bryce Yetman from the forward spots alone tonight. They'll try and get an important spot here. Friesen, Nicollet rounding out the players on the ice. Friesen, shot blocked. Deflected back to Villani. Nicollet tries to keep it on sides. Cleared instead, trying to set up a break for Fletcher. Instead gets to Nicollet. 2 minutes to go on the clock in the third period. Prevost sandwich. Whalers clear it. Goes through one of the cross beams on the roof as Uplegger has icing waved off. That could have been huge. Nicollet gets it to Gilbo. Takes it up around Masterson. Tries to pass back, able to find Prevost. Tries to go for the wraparound. Second chance. Friesen can't get to it. Goes back to Nikolic with 1:34 to go. Nikolic finds Gilbo. Cross ice to Yetman. Across the Prevost, intercepted. Bounced off the board to Nikolic. Cross to Yetman once more. Yetman deeks. Yetman right shot above the bar. Bounces to Nikolic again. Whalers again intercepted. Cleared away by Fletcher. Mahan takes it. Brian Payne calls for the extra attacker. 1:04 to go on the clock. Empty net for the Windsor Aces. Gigliotti with the sandwich. Gilbo. Along with Cameron Pickers going that side. Whalers floated up. Mahan keeps it away from the empty net. Under a minute to go. 50 seconds even. Prevost takes it back in. Across to Yetman. The pass bounces away. Misses off the corner. Ferreira's tied up with 2 aces. Goes back to Gilbo. Back to Nikolic. Back to Prevost. Down low, misses Cameron Pickers, kills and bounces back to Mahan. 30 seconds to work with. Martin tries to clear it. Gigliotti tries to clear it. Gigliotti bounces it back to the neutral zone. Gilbo takes it back in. Deeks his way back in front of the benches. Move back to the near side. 13 seconds left. Yetman just knocks it in. Gilbo tries to charge in. Martin with it. Martin kept on sides by Nikolic. One final shot. Yetman right shot. Blocked. And the Niagara Whalers, for the second straight year, knock the Windsor Aces out of the postseason. They win 5-4. This year it took 3 games, but the Niagara Whalers defeat the Windsor Aces for a second straight season in the postseason when matched up in the first round. And the Windsor Aces, after being the favorites in the series for the first time in their franchise history, they're second in their history, unable to come away with the victory after winning Game 1. They'll shake hands, but either way, while wanting a championship, a lot to celebrate. A strong season as one of the top teams this year, with one of the top players this season, with one of the top goaltenders this season. A lot to build upon for a 2019-20 campaign. But of course, the Whalers, they move on next to take on the Kingsville Kings in this year's second round for the second straight season. The Windsor Aces are probably thinking still, what could have been? For all of us here at Windsor Productions, it's time to say goodbye for the final time this season here from Knox Sherman Arena. For everyone that's been a part of our broadcast this year, for everyone that's been a part of the fan base this year, and watching along with us here in Windsor, Ontario, and in the Rose City at 80 Knox Sherman Arena, or from at home, I'd like to say thank you for being a part of this year's broadcast and watching what has been a great 2018-19 season for the Windsor Aces. For everyone that's been a part of this year's season, I'm Justin Prince, saying so long from the Rose City, and have a wonderful rest of your summer. We'll see you next season.